Hello everyone, it's Bree back again today, and I thought I would do a very quick video before I pick up the kids shortly. I'm just putting some finishing touches on a program that I'm running for some of my current clients in January, and also creating more content for the program that I will be releasing in January entitled Own Your BS, because 2017 is going to be the year that you are going to really take ownership with the crap that is pulling you down and the stuff that's keeping you stuck in a cycle that's not serving you, and start to create some direction and choice to live a life that you truly desire and deserve. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Anywho, whilst I was doing that, I thought about what some of you might be going through at the moment in regards to the stuck emotional state that you could be feeling. And I know in the past I've spoken about being able to pull yourself out of an emotional state starts by firstly recognizing what's actually going on. So those questions, as always, what's going on? What am I doing? What am I thinking? And what am I feeling? And once you've identified what's actually going on in your headspace, when you can actually hear the story that you were telling yourself, the very best thing that you can do to remove yourself further from the story is to start to question a little bit more. And so I've come up with a list of questions that you could choose to start using to create some space around whatever story it is that you're telling yourself that is causing you to feel like the tunnel is starting to close in. Because the thing is as well, whatever we focus on the problem, whatever's going on that is causing us to feel the emotion that's causing us to feel bad, did that make sense? Whatever we are focused on the story that is causing us to feel a negative emotion, we start to create a tunnel. We start to close down what's going on all around us. While focusing on the very thing that's causing us to feel like shit. So these are some questions that are going to help you to possibly see a different perspective, to stand back and create some space around what's going on so that you can then move forward maybe with less emotional intensity. Now, please be mindful that these are not solutions to your problem. They are simply tools or strategies that you can use to see things in a different way so that you can lessen the possibility of emotional attachment to those stories. Because the one thing that you must always remember when it comes to the female brain is that for as long as you allow those stories to cycle in your head, and for as long as you allow the emotions to charge the stories, those stories are going to double back and feed the emotion, and the emotion is going to forward and feed the story. So you're going to end up in this looping of storytelling and emotional replay, which is not going to serve you long term, particularly because you're female and you are doing this 25% more often than men. So the sooner you can become aware of what you're actually telling yourself and then start to create space, long term, you're going to be reducing the intensity of that emotion on a conscious level. So what are some of these questions? Well, obviously the three favorite questions that I have is, what am I going through right now? What am I actually doing that's causing me to feel whatever I'm feeling? What am I thinking? And what am I feeling? They're the base level questions that you might ask yourself. But if you wanted to go a little deeper, or if maybe you wanted to explore it a little bit further, then questions you could ask yourself, and I've made a note, is what can you learn about what's going on right now? This is a fantastic question to ask yourself when you recognize that you are blaming a situation or a person outside of yourself. So bring it back to you by recognizing what it is that you need to learn. What can I learn about what's going on right now? What can I change about what's going on right now? What is going on in this situation that is out of my control that I can't change? And what are the things that I can change? And how can I focus my energy into that now to create movement forward and away from whatever problem it is that you're going through? Third question, what am I hoping to accomplish? Now, this is a fantastic question to ask yourself. If you find that you are going toe to toe with someone for an argument, if you are trying to prove yourself right, I actually said this to a client quite a while ago. She was talking about some arguments that she'd been having with, I think it might have been a husband or some family member. And I said to her, it gets to a point though, honey, where we have to recognize that it takes two people to have an argument. And if you are recognizing that you're going in circles and you're not actually getting away from the argument, then what are you hoping to accomplish out of having the argument? Is it more important to you to be right and to be acknowledged as right, or is your inner peace and your sense of I guess it almost comes down to worthiness. Is that more important to you? Because if you are truly confident at your core, you don't always need to prove yourself to other people. You're okay for them to not understand. So by asking yourself, what am I hoping to accomplish? It just gives you that viewpoint to recognize whether or not you're fighting a battle that's not really necessary. So that's the third question. Fourth question's, what would have made a difference? Now, this is a particularly powerful question if you are rehashing something that has happened during the day. Let's say you've gone to bed and you keep replaying the stories of something that happened that day. Ask yourself, what would have made a difference? And if there is something that you could have done to change the next time that situation occurs, you'll have that conscious learning, that conscious awareness to do something differently to hopefully create a different response or a different outcome. What can you do right now? What will you do right now to create change, to move away from the emotional stuff that you're stuck in? So ask yourself, what will I do? What can you do to improve? What are the things that you can learn from and grow from to improve your reactions to particular situations? What do you actually want? This is fantastic. If you're feeling like you're feeling overwhelmed or procrastinating, if you're feeling anxious or stressed, ask yourself, what do I want from what's going on right now? What is the one thing that I want? And then just start focusing on that one thing. Let the rest of it go and focus on that one thing that you really want, because that will give you clarity. It'll start to build your momentum. And then with momentum, that procrastination, the overwhelm, the anxiety is all going to start to dissipate because you're moving forward. You've created some momentum for yourself. So what do I want is another really great question. What can I do right now? And again, it's an action-based question that is designed to get you out of a stuck state and moving forward. So what can you do right now? And the last one is, what do you want to happen? What is the ideal outcome for you in this particular situation? It doesn't matter whether it's a professional challenge that you're going through. It doesn't matter whether it's a parenting challenge that you're going through or whether it's a personal challenge that you're going through. If there is something that is causing you to feel unease, insecure, doubtful, not good enough, angry, any negative emotion or belief, if there's something going on, then there are always options and choices for you to be able to tap into. You just need to learn or become aware of and use the questions that are going to give you more clarity. So rehashing those questions again, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What can I learn about it? What can I change? What am I hoping to accomplish? What would have made a difference? What will you do? What can you do to improve? I couldn't read my own writing then, and it's on a computer. What can you do to improve? What do you want? What can you do right now? And what do you want to happen? Now, you'll notice that through all of those questions, the common denominator with all of them is the word what. So very, very quickly before I sign off, the what in a question will put your brain into search and find mode. It will take you out of focusing on a problem and start searching for solutions. So there might be other what questions that you come up with that really resonate strongly with you to move you beyond a problem that you're struggling with. And if that's the case, I would so love to hear what question you ask yourself to pull yourself out of an emotional state. But if you are lost for what questions, then remember, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? And just to recap one last time, what can I learn? What can I change? What am I hoping to accomplish? What would have made a difference? What will I do? What can I improve on? What do I want? What can I do right now? And what do I want to happen? If you ask yourself those questions when you start to feel stuck, I bet you're going to find solutions that you've probably not even recognized are there for you. So become very familiar with your what questions and start to use them. And just really quickly, one way that I would suggest you actually use them, particularly because you are a female, the more time you actually spend just telling yourself stories and talking to yourself, you're not actually finding a lot of clarity. So if possible, or when possible, I would encourage you to actually grab a piece of paper, write those questions down, and then write down the answers that come as a result of you asking those questions. Because when you've got it on black and white, it helps you to step away from it, depersonalize from it, and then just see it as an action plan, just see it as an action step. So where possible, physically write down those questions and write down the answers that come to mind when you ask yourself those questions. And I'm fairly certain that you'll start to find a little bit more direction with whatever problem you're struggling with at the moment. So thank you for joining. And look, everyone's jumped on now that I've been talking for 5 or 6 minutes and I was going to sign off. So for those of you who have just jumped on, we've got Gussie and Veronica and Amanda. Thank you so much for joining. Please go back and watch the replay, because I really believe that the better you can get at asking yourself these questions, the more control you will have of emotional states when they arise. And let's face it, life is going to continue to throw curveballs at us from time to time. The only thing that we can control is how long we allow ourselves to be pushed around by those balls. It's up to us to take the balls by the hands and just make things happen. That's really funny that just kind of fell into place. I'm talking about balls. And I was thinking about dodgeball. For all of those people who are not thinking nice and innocently like I was thinking about dodgeball. Life is a bit like dodgeball. You're going to have balls thrown at you and you're going to get knocked over at times. But the moment that you can stand up and grab hold of those balls and throw them back with some level of intensity and direction, and that is going to come as a result of you asking yourself a what-based question, the more you're going to be able to feel like you have control of your game. And that's what we want at the end of the day, isn't it? So thank you for joining. Thank you, Gussie, for the like. I'm hoping that resonated. And I'd love to have a chat with you again. It's been a couple of months since we talked, darling. So if you're open or when you're ready for it, please get in touch. And we will definitely, I will definitely check in with you all again sometime tomorrow for another quick chat. So thanks for joining, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Mwah. Love to everyone.